The U.S. hit a milestone in the coronavirus pandemic as all 50 states have now begun reopening. Some Democratic leaders are pushing state bailout packages, but a lot of the debt they're wanting to resolve predated COVID-19, and it has nothing to do with helping those who are most impacted by the pandemic. Our next guest is following this topic closely. We want to bring in Daniel Garza, president of the Libre Initiative. Daniel, thank you for joining us. We're learning that you recently interviewed the president on this topic. Is he worried about some governors using the coronavirus bailout money to fix pre-existing problems in their states and not address the outcomes of COVID-19?
Well, that's exactly what he expressed in the phone call that I had with the president, where he was speaking to thousands of Latinos from the Oval Office, and I had the opportunity to engage one-on-one with him on exactly this issue. And he expressed exactly where we align, which is it is unfair to, of course, punish the residents of other states that made the responsible fiscal decisions and have them pay for the states who actually spent lavishly and recklessly for so many years, and now they have to step up and bail them out. It is patently unfair, and of course, it has nothing to do with the coronavirus or what folks are going through, right? And so the damages that they're feeling, the pain and the hurt that they're feeling, and I think that's where the focus should be of this administration.
Daniel, if you don't mind, tell us where you're calling in from.
Mission, Texas, right on the border between Mexico and the U.S.
Okay, and that's a state that has at least begun to reopen, or at least welcomed the idea to do so. What's been your reaction to Governor Abbott's decision to start to reopen Texas?
Well, I wholeheartedly agree that we can begin to open up by using common sense safeguards. I think the folks are very well now informed and educated on what needs to happen to begin a phasing of opening up and trending towards normalization. We can do one-way aisles in the grocery stores. We can do physical distancing. We can wear masks. And then, of course, continual spraying of high-contact areas with disinfectants. All these things are proving to prove effective. And, of course, local level decision-making is going to be important, where the state governors take control, but also the mayors are making decisions, where local or individuals themselves using common sense approach to staying safe during this pandemic.
Yeah, we're seeing it play out across the U.S. It just looks so differently state by state. We want to bring in a panel to discuss. Representing a few more states here, we've got Scott Walker, the former governor of Wisconsin, as well as Sam Starbush, who's an author, actress, and homeschooling advocate. Sam, I'm going to guess you're in California. Am I correct here?
No, I'm in Florida now.
Oh, all right. Okay, we've got Florida, Texas, and Wisconsin represented. I'm here in New York, so we're going to get this conversation going. Governor Walker, we'll start with you. You recently wrote an op-ed in the New York Times titled, "Don't Bail Out the States." So, staying right on topic here, give us some takeaways, if you will.
Well, that's exactly right. States like Wisconsin 9 years ago made the tough decisions. Because of that, the state has a rainy day fund that was 190 times bigger when I left than when we came in. The pension's fully funded. The state has a surplus. All of those things were done because of tough and responsible decisions, not just by me, but by the state legislature. Contrast that with Illinois, our neighbor to the south, where they don't even have a pension system that's even half funded. They've gone years without paying their bills on time. They have massive problems. We see that in New York State. We see that in California. We see that in New Jersey. The last thing that taxpayers in states like mine and others across the country should be doing is bailing out failed states. On top of that, the federal government just doesn't have the money. With all the trillions of dollars they've spent, you're already looking at an over $25 trillion federal debt, unlike to being above the level that it was even during World War II, when it comes to debt to GDP ratio. So federal government doesn't have the money. The states shouldn't be bailed out. States like New York, Illinois, California, and others should be forced to do the kind of reforms that we did in Wisconsin and other states have done over the years.
Yeah, Sam, I assumed you were in California based on your acting background, but now that you're in Florida, tell me why maybe that's more appealing to you than being out in California right now.
Well, I think part of it is the fiscal responsibility of the state. We just decided it was time for us to move. I actually moved. My main reason was the climate, but I want to focus on what Governor Walker was talking about, and this idea. This is a problem that will continue to grow. And so, if we come in, if the federal government comes in and bails out the states, well, what's going to happen next year when the states don't have even the tax revenue that they would have been counting on? Because now we have such high unemployment, you're going to have a lot of people who are obviously not going to be paying their taxes. The employment taxes won't be paid. The states won't get the money. They're going to be in even worse conditions. So they need to be sort of pulling their belts tighter and fixing this problem now. And bailing them out is not going to make that happen.
Yeah, you just keep spending more money, but it's going to catch up to you eventually. Daniel, we do know that there are so many frontline workers right now on the states. We've got to keep paying for these hospitals to stay in action, as well as our first responders. How do you make that argument against bailing out these states when you do have such critical people who do need to, continue to receive funding?
Right. Well, that's what the states need to make sure that they are addressing priorities of their state, as opposed to trying to cover all expenditures and please everybody. They have to make the tough decisions like Governor Walker did so many years ago, where actually he took a lot of heat for the funding requests that actually were cuts in spending, and he paid a political price. Now, is it unfair for these folks, I would say New York, Illinois, Kansas, New Jersey, who are also in trouble now, to be bailed out because of the lavish spending when others had to make the responsible decisions? It's not fair. At the same time, it's like Governor Walker said, we don't have the money. Right now, we're $25 trillion in debt, and it's not like they haven't received any federal spending. By the way, it's been $1.8 trillion just this year that states have received from the federal government. So it's not like they're not getting any money. They just need to prioritize and focus on those folks who are truly hurting.
Yeah. All right. Great discussion here. That's Daniel Garza, president of the Libra Initiative. Thank you for joining us. Governor Walker and Sam, please stick around. We'll see you again after the break.